What up, Gripsters and Team Gripst members? Evan here for Grips.com, and I am very thankful that today we are going to do everybody's favorite, the 2015 year in review. I just want to start out this video by saying I feel very fortunate to be in the position that I am, very blessed for all the success that I've had, and just very much appreciative for all the people like you out there who support me in my dreams and my goals and my missions, and that I'm in a position where I can actually help support you to accomplish your dreams, wishes, missions, and goals as well. So let's get right into it. It's going to be a long one. We've had a very successful year. We have a lot of fun things to talk about. I'm going to start this video by talking about what my goals were for 2015, how I did on those, some of the big highlights for me, some of the big highlights for the team. I'm then going to go on to talk about the things that I did that enabled me to actually have success in the areas and achieve the results that I wanted to have. I'm going to reflect on some of the things that I did poorly, some of the things that I think I could have improved on. So therefore, if you're trying to mimic my path, you can save yourself some trouble and some figuring out. I'm then going to go on to speak about what you guys can look forward to in 2016, some of the plans that I have for that, and wrap things up with a few kind words and my major number one epiphany of 2015. So the year started with the decision to do some journaling, to commit to greatness. And I wrote down my goals in this journal. So I'll just flip over to them. Actually, I got them written on the screen here too, because I prepared for it. So goals for 2015, and this is an amazing exercise to do. You just write down what you want, and they're all right there. So my goals for 2015 were, number one, develop the heart and ferocity of a champion. Number two, share the process and experience with all. Number three, strengthen my core relationships and heal my body. It was in some pain from overworking and ignoring it. I wanted to uplift others and encourage them to follow their dreams. I wanted to gain happiness and peace of mind. And finally, the last goal, which is the only one I don't feel I hit this year, was to win a World Series of Poker bracelet. But hey, there's always next year. So those are my personal goals for 2015. I also have my Grips goals written down for 2015. They were to share my personal insights and lessons, mostly through YouTube, which we definitely did. To give others direction and answers to their uncertainty, which we definitely did a lot of on Twitch. I wanted to learn from others while giving feedback, which Twitch was just an amazing medium for that. It was an absolute godsend for that. I wanted to track, measure, review, reveal, and evolve. And in that area, I did okay. I didn't track everything. I didn't review everything, but some hand history reviews help with that, and that's one of the ones that we're going to really focus on in 2016. I wanted to create the poker training site of the year, and I will let you guys be the judge of how we did in that department with all the YouTube videos and Twitch live streams. And finally, I wanted to show the world what this triumph looks like and what it feels like to inspire their process to begin. Because that's what it's all about. You set the goals, you try to achieve what you want to achieve, you learn how to motivate yourself, and once you see that that's possible, once you experience it firsthand, you say, okay, I want to help other people do the same, because clearly this is something that can be done that no one taught me how to do, so, well, I'm going to take what I learned and share it with others so that they can go ahead and continue with the same process. So with the 2015 goals, I feel like I really nailed almost all of them. I think I'm looking at them now, probably about 80%, 85%. And you guys know me. Whatever I didn't achieve in the time frame that I set out to do so, I usually achieve in the next period. When we were doing the monthly reviews, I usually got in the next month. So in the yearly reviews, we'll probably get in the next year. So 2016, win a World Series of Poker bracelet. Seems like a reasonable goal. And do a little bit more reviewing and revealing of how to review and how to study and things like that. And just in case we didn't hit poker training side of the year, we are definitely going to solidify that in 2016 by doing some fine-tuning things, which I'm going to talk about more throughout this video. My long-run goals, also I do have written in the journal, that Team Grip's perfect vision by 2020. And what that means is just, I want to see a whole bunch of world champions who are associated with Team Gripst. I'm going to lead by example. A lot of other people are leading by example already. We've had some great results. But I'd really love to see us win the World Championship. And just so you guys know, I'm planning ahead. And I did have this patch created. So we do have 5 years to achieve this goal, and I would just like to know, does this belong to you? You tell me. Alright. I should probably bring this over here. So. Let's start with the biggest victories. Now that we've gone through kind of my personal victories. Let's go through the biggest victories for Team Gripst in 2015. Because we did have some really big ones. It was a breakout year for a lot of people. And I think that a lot of people had breakout years that we may not have heard about. But you guys are welcome to share those experiences with me on Twitter. So biggest victories for the team, we had the Sunday Million hat trick. The goal has always been to win the Sunday Million. It's a pretty sweet tournament, a flagship tournament. And this year we had not one, but 3 winners of that tournament. The first one was Ben Heath, Charlie Carroll's roommate, who shipped it for like $169,000, gave us a shout out in the chat box. There's a really great video of that. That was a sweet one. We also had Adil, who chopped it for $200,000 during the W Coupe series. And finally, just 2 weeks ago, Max Rotko, after sending me an email saying, make me your next champion, went ahead and just became a champion on his own, in his own right, and shipped the Sunday Million outright win for like $150K. Cool story about those wins. We do have the hand history review of Ben's win. You guys have probably watched it already. And I also did a live stream review in Adil's win. So the only thing missing now is to review Max's win, which is something we're going to be doing in early 2016. Other big victories for Team Gripst. We had Mark Herm, Dipthrong, a coach for Team Gripst, won his first ever live tournament in the PCA. That was pretty sweet. And I would expect him to win a major sometime very soon. He's definitely one of the ones to watch in 2016. And lastly, biggest victory of them all, Charlie Carroll finishing Charlie Carroll, man, this kid blows my mind. I have it written down. He won his first EPT high roller for $1.14 million. It was only the second high roller that he ever played. And the first one that he played, just a month before, I think it was at like EPT Malta or somewhere else, correct me if I'm wrong, he got 4th place in that one for another bunch of money. So what a tear for Charlie. He just hits the live circuit, 4th in his first high roller, 1st place in his second one. And worth noting, Ben Heath also cashed that EPT high roller as well. So in his first high roller, he also cashed too. So some really great results for the team out there, both online and on the live fence. As for my biggest personal victories, we had a lot. I told you guys I hit my goals, but let me be a little bit more specific about just what that looked like. So first thing that was pretty cool, I got it in the background, I was co-author in a published book, Excelling in No Limit Hold'em, biggest book of the year for No Limit Hold'em, and I got to write a chapter in that. That was pretty damn cool to see that thing fresh off the presses and to really just be holding it in my hands, be like, wow, like I am in a book alongside some of the game's biggest legends. That was really, really cool. I ran my first ever live seminar at the Punta Cana Poker Classic. It was the MTT Mindset Seminar, which had 4 different days of training. We had a pre-day of training, which was 2 hours long, and then for day 1, day 2, and day 3, we had a 1-hour pep talk before the tournament went down. And that was really fun. That was really rewarding, and the students had a lot of success who attended those. So I felt really, really good about doing my first ever live seminar, which was something I'd been a little afraid of doing in the past, was a little bit nervous about doing, but it went really well. I created the All-In Poker program, which was a combination of knowledge, performance enhancement, and recovery for long-term sustainable results, because I don't want to teach you guys how to just get one score and be done with it. I want to teach you how to get win after win after win after win. For more info on, the All-In Poker program and the preparation that went into the World Series of Poker this year, you can check out my episode of the Mindset Advantage podcast with Dr. Tricia Cardner and Elliot Rowe, who are both also amazing coaches, mental game coaches in their own right. Being on that show was pretty cool too. I did my first ever podcast this year. I think I did 3 or 4 of them. And it was really cool to get recognized as someone who was, doing something good for the poker community, doing something good for the world, and have people be like, hey, we want to talk to you. We want to know a little bit more about your story. I got to do interviews with Poker News. I got to do interviews with Lee Davey, PokerTube. Like, there were lots of really cool experiences I had in that domain of just, talking shop. In terms of poker, I cashed the World Series of Poker main event for the 4th year in a row. And one of the most rewarding parts about cashing that tournament this year was getting to pay out all the winners of the 1% Club. The 1% Club is something that's been very dear to my heart. We started it 3 years ago with the Lucky 7. Then last year it was the 1% Club. Once again, the 1% Club. And this year we'll be bringing back the 1% Club. And to get to share my score, my victory with the members of Team Grips, that's something very cool and something I'm very thankful that I have the opportunity to do. Speaking of WSOP success, we had some great successes for the team. Greggy made 2 final tables, and I think he cashed like 4 tournaments out of 8 tournaments played. Ben Heath, continuing the heater, made his first ever final table in the 3K 6 Max, a pretty tough tournament. Charlie Carroll also got his first couple cashes under his belt, including the World Series of Poker main event. So maybe my cashing streak is going to be in jeopardy when someone that strong and that sharp already has his first cash under his belt. And Matt Jarvis. What a run by Matt Jarvis. Guy made day 6, finishing like the top 50 after final tabling the tournament 5 years ago, which shows you guys that, that sustainable success model, it really works. Because even though, he hadn't won a bracelet for 4 years, he's still making a very deep run and building a very deep stack in the biggest tournament of the year. So, props to Matt Jarvis for an awesome run and a very inspiring performance. And I also just want to say a quick thank you to Matt Jarvis for helping me prepare for the World Series of Poker this year. Last year, and also he's going to be helping me prepare for it this year. I couldn't think of a better person to do that with. Mr. Consistency. Speaking of final tables, pretty unique experience. I announced my first ever live final table at the Punta Cana Poker Classic. Me and my buddy Warren announced the final table of the PCPC main event, and that was a crazy cool experience. I was super nervous. I'm like, man, I don't know if I have what it takes to do this. And once I got in the booth, I was just like, oh man, like this is my zone. This is easy game. I comment on final tables all the time. Live, online, what's the difference? It was a really cool experience, really nice to get to watch all the action. And it actually felt really awesome. I made some predictions about how things would play out based on the lineup of the players and the way that people were playing that day. And the best player won. The best player won. So it was very cool to see that happen and not miss a single hand. It's a very different viewpoint being in the booth as opposed to being on the felt or even being on the rail. But I really enjoyed it. So a big thank you to everyone at America's Card Room who gave me the opportunity to do that and flew me down to Punta Cana. Pretty sweet to get that kind of recognition and a reward of a free trip. And in terms of my play, my online play, there was a pretty big moment for me. We've been doing a lot of stuff on Twitch. Twitch was having really good momentum in the springtime. But my poker results, my Sunday results were really just suffering. I'm like, man, have I lost my skill at the tables? Do I not know what I'm doing anymore? Or am I just maybe trying to do too much? So one weekend, maybe a month before the World Series, I said, you know what? This weekend, I'm just going to turn the stream off and I'm just going to fire up 2 tables on Bodog and I'm just going to play. I'm just going to play and I'm going to see what happens. And I ended up making a really good run in their 100K guaranteed, absolutely dominating from 3 tables downward to the final, taking second place for $20,000 US. That was my biggest online score this year, my strongest finish. And it really showed me the power of focus. Because for the start of the year, I wanted to build up Twitch. I wanted to really teach you guys a lot. I wanted to do a lot of different fun things, giveaways, this and that. And, my poker playing was not the main priority anymore. It was about the show. It was about the experience. But when I was like, okay, let's take that focus away and let's just focus on playing good poker. Let's just focus on trying to make the best decisions I can, being really focused, having lots of energy, having no distractions. Boom, proof's right there. First weekend I did that, 20K score, second place finish. And just to show you guys it wasn't a fluke, I said, you know what, I'm going to try this again one more time the next week, play 2 tournaments, same ones, final table both of them. So just goes to show the power of focus. And if you listen to any of the greats of the game, if you listen to the Daniel Negreanu's, the Fedor Holtz's, the Greg Mersons, the Alex Fitzgeralds, the Charlie Carrolls, the Dan Smiths, they're going to tell you guys that focus is everything, and setting your intention on just performing your best at the one task that you want to do is going to be the big thing that makes a difference and gets you the results that you want. Okay. Now you guys are probably saying, all right, we want to watch this stuff. We heard all these great things happen. I want to see it. I want to see it firsthand. Maybe I missed a stream. Maybe I missed a video. What are the best videos and series and live streams of the year? I made a list. So you guys can have easy access because I'm good like that. So in terms of the best video on YouTube, it's close. It's really close because the hand history review with Ben and Charlie is one of the most amazing pieces of tournament strategy I've ever watched in my life. So in terms of from the team, I'd say that hand history review is the best. In terms of from me, I think the best session I ever played has got to be the one where I reviewed my second victory in the Sunday Showdown from last year, and I just played a really, really, really good session, and I made that video, and it was the best video I'd ever made up till that point. And that video was actually inspired because I wanted to review the Bodog session because that was by far the best I'd ever played. I'm like, oh, they got to see this. Couldn't get the hand history. Sorry. So I was like, all right, what's the next best session I ever played? And it was that Sunday Showdown one, up until later in that year when things really started heating up. Another series that was really incredible was the I Have a Dream series, where I basically went through the process of what it takes to become a champion and what steps you guys can follow to go through that. It's in the mental game and life coaching section playlist. Another one that I really enjoyed was the WSOP Reflections series, where I went through everything that I learned at the World Series of Poker, what it was like playing, what it was like living with the Tony Greggs and the Greg Mersons, what it was like running a booth, what it was like just being all in the experience. That's a 10-part series that's really, really good. It's a little bit longer, but some really real stuff there. Some big reflections. And then the UCOP Revelations series was incredible. That's when I committed to playing and streaming 8 days of poker in the Universal Championship of Poker to try to win the first place prize of $10,000. And we didn't do that, but I learned so much from that week. And I played so well that week, and my game evolved so much in that time, and I'm like, I gotta get this info out. So the UCOP Revelation series talked about kind of everything that I learned that week and everything that I did to get really good results on the table and play some of the best poker of my life. So if you want to play the best poker of your life, the UCOP Revelation series is a must watch. Now in terms of Twitch, the best live streams, honestly, like all of the fourth quarter. When everything came together, September, October, November, December, those streams were all just money. We had the UCOP series, which included a lot of close calls, some really nice second place finishes, and a lot of cracked aces. We also saw me failing hard, which was pretty cool. The last day, just kind of everything fell apart. The computer was breaking down, the thing crashed on me. I had to play one of the tables on my laptop, the other one on my desktop. I got a picture of it. It's pretty funny. And yeah, it just kind of showed that, when it rains, it pours. And that was after being so focused the whole week on just UCOP. Then the main event finally came around. I'm like, oh, there's a juicy tournament on Bodog today. Oh, there's the million. So I decided I was going to play a few tables. Bad idea. Not enough memory. Computer crashed. You guys saw it firsthand, but at least we got a really good highlight reel video out of that. The best final table I ever played was just about a month ago, And those were some really good streams. We have me final tabling the Party Poker Major 2 of 3 weeks. Those were some really good ones. Running deep in the ACR Million for 13th place was awesome. Running deep in the Sunday Million back-to-back weeks, including a 54th place finish and 176th place finish, were both extremely exciting. And one thing that got lost in that Sunday Million hype was actually a second place finish in the Sunday Showdown, the same site where I reviewed the best session I ever played. And that was for like 6,000 euros or so. I already mentioned the review with Ben and Charlie. That stream's absolutely incredible. And then I felt like we went up that when Ali and I reviewed his victory in the 50K guaranteed on America's Card Room, which was an absolute beast session. And I think that video there is the best collaboration that I've ever made. Ali's 50K win on America's Card Room. Speaking of Twitch, we also did a lot of cool stuff, a lot of new things. We had new formats: Theory Thursday, Free Money Friday, Get Stacking Saturday, and of course, Ship It Sunday. And I'm happy to tell you guys that what we did in 2015, that was just a warm-up for Twitch. And in 2016, it's going to be even bigger, even better. I have so many more ideas, and I can't wait to share them with you guys and show you what they look like in real life. Now, as for my most memorable personal moments and victories, there were many. There were many this year. There were a lot of travel and lifestyle related victories this year, mixed in with all the work that I was doing. So the first one was going to the PCA for the first time. Was pretty cool. I'd like to thank Scott Ball, Rum Cakes from Twitch, for putting me up in a room on that trip and making it that much easier for me to get down there. I'd also like to thank Calvin Anderson for believing in me and saying, "Kid, you got to play the main event." I said, "Cal, that buy-in's too much." He said, "Don't worry, I'm taking 50%. Just get in there." It was also really cool getting to meet Charlie and Ben in real life for the first time ever. That was a big game changer for me. I was having dinner with Tony and Christian Harder and some other big names, and I saw Charlie and Ben at another table. I'm like, oh man, I haven't had a chance to really get to chat with them yet. And I was like, guys, I really like having dinner with you guys, and you're all awesome, but there's some really special people over there I got to go spend some time with. And we had dinner, and then we had a great night, and I remember sitting there and just thinking, wow, it is so amazing that these kind of people are the kind of people who I have attracted into my existence through the Grips Poker Training Project, because these are the kind of people that I would love to spend more time with. Very interesting, very unique, very motivated, very driven individuals who just have so much positivity to share, so much energy to share, and just so much goodness. And that was a moment where I just sat and I'm like, wow, you know what, starting this whole Grips thing was a really, really good idea. So that was a really big moment for me in victory. Just thinking about it now, I'm just like, wow, yeah, that really was incredible. And I love those guys so much that I invited them to stay with me in the summer at the World Series of Poker. And getting a booth at the World Series of Poker was a pretty big victory for me as well, because I actually got to really feel like I was part of the World Series of Poker. Not just a player, but an actual real part of it. Being a vendor, having a shop, having a setup, all that stuff. I also got to meet a lot of the industry people because I was kind of an industry person, which was very cool. It opened up a lot of doors, a lot of opportunities, like the charity dinner with Reg. And also the biggest opportunity that having the booth opened up was it gave me a place to meet the Gripsters. Meeting you guys in real life was really the most incredible thing of it all, because when people came by the booth and got to tell me, oh, Evan, you taught me this thing that made me, this much money, or you helped me overcome this problem that was really holding me back. Or as the people would come by and say straight up Gripst, you changed my life. You changed my game. And it's not the same as just reading a comment on the internet. It's not the same as hearing someone say it over a Skype call. When you're there physically with someone in person, you can feel it. You can see what it means to them emotionally. You can hear it with yours, but you can also just feel how meaningful and significant this is. So I just want to give a big thank you to all the guys and all the girls who came by the booth this summer to introduce yourselves, share your success stories with me, or just, chit chat. It was a real pleasure, and it was another one of those things which had me thinking, wow, I'm really glad that I started this whole Gripsed poker training movement, because clearly it's making a big difference and having a positive effect on people. What else? I really fine-tuned my understanding of how to navigate the World Series of Poker landscape. I discovered a few more, kind of tricks or hacks that can really enhance people's chances of doing the best in Vegas. This year's big discovery was the Float Center and Red Rock Canyon. And on the note of Red Rock Canyon, one of my biggest victories this year, my personal victories that may not seem like, a normal kind of victory, was just getting out in nature. Spending time away from the computer, away from the city, and just being out there in the beauty that is nature. So we discovered Red Rock Canyon in Vegas was amazing. Zion National Park in Utah was amazing. I spent some time with my family in St. Lucia, was incredible. Paradise Island in the Bahamas, more so at the ashram, where I'm going to be staying the next 3 weeks as opposed to Atlantis, which was pretty wild. And experiencing Vail, Colorado. Wow. Super incredible. Super amazing up there. Another thing that was a big victory was just going to TwitchCon, seeing San Francisco for the first time, and getting to play in the most epic home game of all time, including Elke, Nanonoko, Jamie Staples, Scott Ball, Sticky Rice, and get this, Phil Hellmuth. How cool is that? Oh, another big highlight, I got to be on a panel with those guys, Sticky Rice accepted, speaking about poker, the future of Twitch poker, and all those things, and getting to be there taking questions like on a panel. That's a big thing. That is a big step. I did not expect to be there, 3 years ago when I started this whole thing. The other biggest, most memorable personal moment of victory was the gifts from the fans. Like we have this incredible piece right here, which is just absolutely wonderful. And we had the Gripsters who were thankful enough that they decided they wanted to take the 1% Club to another level and donate some of their own winnings. So big thank you to Manny, Ryder Rock, and Joshua for your 1% donations. It is very, very much appreciated and just such a nice gesture. And of course, who could forget the Twitter hype? The Twitter hype has just gotten off the charts, so big ups to Sydney, Shramo, Lost in Poker, and P. Zugler. Your guys' Twitter game is super on point. As for some other significant moments, we did have a couple of things that we went for that maybe didn't work out, but I'm glad we tried them. So the first one was bringing new stars to try streaming. So we had Greg Merson, who tried it out in January. We had Griffin Benger, who tried it out in March. Jonathan Little, he came in January. He has stayed. Alex Fitzgerald also came in January. He has stayed. And we had Charlie Carroll and Mark Herm. Give it a go. A few found that it wasn't for them, but that doesn't mean they won't be coming back in to give it another try in 2016. We just need to figure out how to make it work for them, because live streaming is a very unique and challenging experience. And the other significant moment, this was another one that just hit me really hard, was just being there for the World Series of Poker with all my friends for a month and a half. I put together this house with 8 people, 8 of my really good friends, and a couple of healers as well. And it was just an incredible group to be a part of, and I just felt so fortunate to get to be a part of that cast of characters for the summer. And I worked hard to get to that position. So, honestly, I could have gone without winning $1 out there, and I still would have had a great time because of who I was there with. It really struck me when I went for that first float session with Tony and just had a chance to let everything sink in. And I'd done some hypnosis work with Elliot Rowe, that I really just loved being around those people, and that's the main thing that keeps me coming back to the World Series of Poker every year. It's not actually the poker tournaments. It's not actually the prospect of winning money. Although the main event is a very special thing in and of itself. But other than that, like all the prelims, it's being there with my buddies, getting to share an experience, getting to be there to share my friends' successes with them, getting to be their front row when they're going deep, getting to be in those winners picks, and getting to give them support and to see them excel at something they've worked so hard on. And I just hope that one day I can return the favor, being the guy under the lights when the homies are there to cheer and support on the rail and hop in that victory pick when we're doing one of these. Now for how you can emulate this success and get what you want out of 2016, because this is going to be a big year. My personal keys to success for 2015, my year. First was just having a mantra, something to tell myself, to remind myself of what's important. It was 2015, it's my year. Whenever anything started going wrong, no, it's going to be fine. It's my year. It's my year. And then I would act as if it was my year. Very important to have that intention. I committed to success, and I sacrificed immediate gratification for long-term satisfaction. I said I wasn't going to smoke any weed. I was going to work with a coach regularly. I was going to journal every single day, and that book is full. And plan my days ahead of time so I would know what I would accomplish, and then reflect on what I'd accomplished each day to see if there was anything I missed, anything I should do later. And that way the year shaped up pretty much the way that I wanted it to, because I decided before the days happened, what's going to happen today? What are we going to get done? And we got to do it. And if we didn't do it, we learn the reflection, and we do it the next day. A great example of this was the UCOP Challenge, where my biggest win came in an event that I normally wouldn't have even played. 9 a.m. start time, poker tournament? I don't know about that. So playing it, because I'd committed to the UCOP, required planning, and it required sacrificing my usual sleeping in. And here's a funny thing that happens in our mind. When we make sacrifices, we don't shortchange ourselves on what we replace it with. So I said to myself, well, if I'm going to sacrifice, it's not going to be for nothing. And that tournament was honestly the best poker I'd played all year up to that point. I feel like I've been saying a lot, but it's true. My poker just kept getting better. And it was the best by far. So that sacrifice led to the intention and the focus and an amazing session and an amazing live stream as well. Other keys to my success, my daily routine is what allowed me to play the lights out poker that you guys saw in many of my sessions. And for most of the streams that I didn't play so hot, honestly, it's because I skipped the morning routine. It's because I skipped the jog before the session. It's because I skipped the mental game MP3s. It's because I forgot to put on the peak performance poker tapes during the session. It's maybe because the night before, instead of getting the poker mindset to be thinking about it in my dreams, I was doing some other things that were a lot of fun but don't really help with poker. So I'll talk more about my daily routine in upcoming videos in 2016 so you guys can emulate it. Another big key for success was investing in my own education. As a businessman, I took a course called Wake Up Productive so I can improve my productivity, definitely improve my output a lot. And as a poker player, I studied all of Jonathan Little's books. They were the best I could find on tournament strategy. I studied Alex Fitzgerald's webinars, again, some of the best stuff out there. And I also watched Run It Once and Grips videos. So I'd be staying sharp and also getting multiple perspectives. I really did put in the time. Speaking of time, I also took time off poker to study other areas that I thought would help me with my performance now and help me with my long-term growth and development throughout life. Some examples of these were Holistic Life Coaching by Paul Chek, really cool weekend course. Self-Made Wealth and Marketing Step by Step by Evan Pagan, so I could really take my business game to another level because that's basically what my career is these days. And it's important to realize that by having other sources to draw happiness from, when things go poorly in poker, you can still feel good about yourself because you have these other things that build up your steam. Pro tip. Also, on the topic of investing in myself, investing in higher quality production experience was a really important one because I wanted to take things to another level. So, you know, I got a new microphone. I got a new computer that was a bitch to set up, but we got it done. I got a new desk. I got a new green screen. I got a new location. We're going to get a newer location next year. I got a new camera, which which I'm talking right now. I got new lights, I got new stands, because, you know, I take what I do seriously, and I realize the difference quality makes, which is why next year I'm taking that investment to another level, and you can expect even more developments and even higher quality with grips, because I don't want to give you guys anything but the best, because I want you to become the best, and you become what you are exposed to time and time again. Next level investments, I went traveling to train. Another thing, if you travel, if you physically travel to then study, you are more likely to take that thing seriously, because you are sacrificing, you know, comfort and peace of mind and being at home, because you're like, no, I'm going to this place to learn this thing. It's part of the trick of immersion training. You sacrifice something to get somewhere, you are going to take it very seriously when you get there. I thought my heads-up game was weak. I thought my three-handed play was weak, so I attended a heads-up sit-and-go boot camp in Colorado. Absolutely incredible experience. And speaking of the power of that experience, one of the attendees, my friend Kevin Laird, aka Kavoon, 2 months after camp, won the $1 million spin and go. $100 buy-in, $1 million spin for $1 million bucks. A cool mill. And we will be showing you guys that video as well of our review of that tournament with Kevin and the head coach from the boot camp. So shows that, you know, those investments in self do pay off and are definitely worth it. Also, TwitchCon was a very next level investment in my Twitch game. And you should see the notes of pages, the pages and pages of notes that I took while I was there. And I think you may not see the writing, but you did see the translation in the quality of the live stream when I got home. And I still have more things to implement next year. So, yeah. Finally, the last big keys to my success were taking time to recharge. I've been using float tanks. I've been doing daily meditation. And I've been doing yoga and movement for maintenance. There were times that those fell by the wayside because I got too immersed in my work, and everything actually suffered when that happened, because that time to recharge allows you to perform better and have more resources when it is time to actually do output stuff. You can't just work all the time. You fall apart. And finally, full unplugs for big competitions. So, or for big challenges that I was going to take on. So the first game of the Bahamas at the start of the year gave me the energy to do 3 months of hardcore streaming in the springtime. I also, spending time with friends in Bahamas, New York, and New Jersey gave me that energy. Then before the World Series of Poker, I took a week and a half off to spend with my family in St. Lucia. That gave me the energy to get through the push of the World Series of Poker and running a booth. Finally, I was feeling a bit tired and worn after that World Series, so I went to the boot camp in Colorado, which had some study, but it also had a lot of relaxation. And I followed that up with the Punta Cana Poker Classic, where I relaxed in the Dominican. And after I got back from that, I was hungry to stream every weekend and every Friday after that, and you guys saw the results that came from that. So, yeah, if you want to be the best, you're going to have to be willing to rest. And if you want to be the GOAT, you probably want to learn how to float. Now, it's not all perfect. We're all human. No one's perfect. I'm no different. I made some mistakes this year, and I would like to share them with you. I'm now going to talk about my regrets and my reflections on how I could have done better. First thing I think would have made a big difference is choosing one focus, because I had two this year. I had my poker game and I had my business game. I had Gripst. So poker and, coaching, both getting coaching and giving coaching, they took a back seat since my obsession was Gripst. I just discovered Twitch. I was really excited about it, like a kid in a candy store. I wanted to step up my Twitch game, my YouTube game, and give the highest quality learning experience, which means my poker game had to go on the back burner. My goal of winning a World Series of Poker bracelet, I didn't really give it the full 111% it deserved this year, but hey, that's what next year's for. Because the Gripst baby kind of needed so much attention, yeah, the bracelet dream was on the back burner. But the crazy thing is, when I reflect on it now, the whole year, I actually realize that I don't need the bracelet to be happy. I don't. That everything else, the friendships, the successes of everyone, the challenges, the perseverance, the sharing of everything, it's given me the feelings of success and support that I sought out, that I thought, would come with winning a bracelet. Because at the end of it all, guys, we all just want to be happy. And we think if we win some big title that it's going to make us happy. But what's really going to make us happy is having people around us who love us and who care about us and who we care about and who we love, who we can share the experience with. And then it doesn't matter what you're doing, but it makes the victories that much sweeter. Secret. So yeah, with where we are now with Gripst, it's an amazing place to be. And it makes the possibility of going out there and winning a world championship that much more likely, because now there's no pressure. I'm not like, oh, if I don't get the victory, I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to feel great no matter what happens. So I can go out there and enjoy myself when I do play poker tournaments. And I can go out there and enjoy myself when I'm doing whatever I'm doing. A live stream, a video, hanging out in the park, going out with friends, whatever it is. On that note, things I could have done better. I wish I had spent some more time with other people and not so much time obsessing on the business. But hey, success does require sacrifice. There's always next year to hang out and kick it with my friends and reconnect and rekindle those relationships. The only thing that eluded me this year, in terms of, like failures, but I don't even know if I had it on the list, was a big first place finish in a Sunday major or in the live arena. We had a lot of close calls. We had, a couple of really big second places. We had a bunch of final tables. I won a bunch of home games. But it's not the same as catching, the legendary El Bingo, which is why I think you're really going to like my 2016 goals, which I'll cover at the very end of this video. Sticking with the daily routine that was getting me results is something I wish I could have done more with. I was basically really on for 3 to 4 months, and then life just kind of went to whatever for a month, sometimes a month and a half. Then I'd get back on the horse, and then I'd fall off the horse. So I wish I hadn't been so on and off with my routine, but it's when you get obsessed, it's easy to forget the key moves that got you success in the first place. And that's what happened. When I started seeing more success with poker, when I started seeing more success with Gripst and Twitch, I just got obsessed and I just wanted to do more. But the ironic thing is, the best thing to do when you're getting those success is to keep doing what you were doing in the first place, and you'll just get more and more success. You don't need to change what you're doing. Just keep doing what was working in the first place. Maybe add a couple things here and there, but don't take anything away. So that was a big regret that I definitely could have done better, but it's first time with so many things going on. Obviously, I'm going to get immersed. I'm going to get obsessed. And actually, on that note, one thing that really pulled me away from my regular routine was trying to do too many collaborations and having to answer to too many different people like, oh, we could do this, we could do that, and you're like, yeah, we should do this, yeah, we should do that. Too much back and forth, too much compromise. A lot of energy has to be expended when you're trying to do collaborations and work with other people. And the best way to get results in life is simple. It's very simple. Shut everything else out and focus on your own shit until you get it done. Simple. When you're trying to do all these collabs and doing all these things, working with other people, you have so many agendas, scheduling, a lot of time gets wasted, a lot of things get lost in communication. If you want to get results, just focus on your own shit. Simple. When things were going well, I allowed myself to get over cocky. I allowed myself to get a little too confident sometimes. I'd say, what's one hit? What's one piece of candy? What's one piece of chocolate? You can only say no so many times when you're coming from a depleted state, and that's the thing. I really worked myself into the ground where my willpower was very low by the end of it. Sometimes I would fall prey to some things that, had spillover effects. Sleeping in too late, not feeling fresh in the morning, not being motivated to get the exercise in, things like that. And actually, I think my biggest mistake, which I didn't put on the list, but I realized when I was kind of reflecting before I recorded this video, was just not eating enough high-quality food, or not eating properly. I would often go long periods without eating, and then I would binge eat, and then end up super tired, like digesting the food, and then like trying to work. My body's like, dude, just let me digest. I'm like, no, we got to get more done. So I was really inefficient in my meal planning. I think I should have eaten more often, not as large of portions, focused on higher quality food, and giving my body adequate time to digest, process, and get rid of that food before then taking on more work tasks. So, I was a little mixed up. I wasn't fully listening to the rhythms of my body, but, live and learn. So what I think I need to do things better in 2016 is a more sustainable system that includes more recovery time and much more inspired fun time. Just getting out there and having a laugh, because laughter gives us energy. It recharges us. It's one of the best things we can do for ourselves. Because it's important to keep that inner child alive. It's what brings the happiness and creativity to our existence. And what's the point in getting shit done if at the end of it all you don't have the energy left to have any fun or share it with someone, or you're so obsessed with work that you forget what having fun is or what different activities could be fun. So that's one thing that I really want to get back to more next year, is spend more time in just the chill zone and not so much time in the serious zone. Because I think I spent enough time in the serious zone this year. And actually, from listening to Fader Holtz's podcast, he said after doing all that grind stuff and having all the info here, all he needed to get it to release itself and be fully available was to relax and have fun and take care of the other areas of his life. Because he kind of overworked the poker side and it was time to work on those underworked areas. Okay. Now, my biggest epiphany of 2015. It's not Charlie Carroll. This one I'm just gonna read straight up so I don't miss anything. So my biggest epiphany of 2015. It's about how much you're enjoying the journey and who you get to share it with that matters most. Achievements and triumphs are guaranteed to come for anyone who is willing to work hard and stay focused. But who's going to be there cheering you on when they happen? That's the question that you want to answer. That's why I'm thankful that for a lot of gripsters, I'm the first person they share their success with. And I can be that cheerleader that makes them feel extra good about their achievement when otherwise they might have no one to share it with. We've all been there. Because every personal victory is a big deal. And you should be proud of yourself for every one of those victories that you accomplish, however small they are. Even if it seems tiny compared to what other people have achieved, they're probably at a very different point in their career or in their development or in their lifetime than you are. Be proud of yourself for all the successes and all the right steps and right actions that you take. The game is poker that we play. We're not playing the game of comparison. So don't worry about what's happening on Poker News. It's about being comfortable and at peace with where you're at, having a dream of where you want to go that motivates you, and setting realistic expectations of what the next step is, and then being proud of yourself for following through on every additional step that you take along that path. Because if you aren't celebrating each step, you're not going to be motivated to take the next one. And it takes a lot of steps to get to the final destination. But everyone is equally important. And as for me, this is the journey that I'm going to be going on in 2016 and writing my story right between these pages. I also realized that, life's about making other people's lives better, which usually involves making yours better in the process. All the incredible success on Twitch, YouTube, and on the tables, it stemmed from a combination of my hard work and your hard work. The results may have been in part because of my teaching, but they were much more so in part because of your hard work, your dedication, your application of those teachings, and your follow-through. I just want to say thank you so much for making the extra effort, for going above and beyond to see your goals through. Now, what's coming in 2016? We're going to have the return of the 1% Club, because 2016 is an extremely important year for me, an extremely important World Series for me, and an even big one for Gripst. And, as usual, I want to be playing for more than myself. I want to be sharing with the team. So we're going to have many 1% pieces given out. We're going to have more ways to win, and we're going to go beyond just the league system and give you other fun ways to win pieces of my World Series of Poker main event action as I go for the Drive for 5. We're also going to be expanding and fine-tuning the All-In Poker program. I want to really make it something where it's the step-by-step on how to become the poker player of your dreams, no matter where you're at now, because we can all move forward. And there's strength in numbers, there's happiness and togetherness and all that good stuff. So I want to make sure that no one gets left behind, and I want to make sure that the gaps that are lacking in the All-In Poker program are filled. Currently we have knowledge, We have how to play your best every time and how to recover from those long sessions, but I'm sure there are some things we forgot about. We're going to have innovative new stream formats at Twitch. We're going to have more bankroll building giveaways and Grips advice on how to spin up your bankroll. So even if you only got $5 or $1 in the account or $20 in the account, I'll give you advice on kind of the best games to play and the best way to build it up as quickly as possible while developing your game, building your skill set, not just building your bankroll. I'm going to be having more frequent content on YouTube because I want to make sure your questions get answered. I feel like a lot of ones got ignored this year with all the business that was going on. I'm bringing the focus back to development, taking care of everybody. We're also going to have some major partnerships, speaking of taking care of people, including staking programs for qualified players who have winning results, but just need some bankroll help and maybe some coaching to be playing at bigger limits. So if you play spin and goes, heads up sit and goes, or MTTs, we're going to have some very good news for you in early 2016. We also will be posting on the best poker forum on the internet. It's already looking pretty good, but it's currently in the beta. It's going to be getting even better. When it's the official launch, this forum is going to be the nuts. And we're going to be releasing the new mantra. You heard it here first. 2016 is the year. Say it with me. 2016 is the year. You got it? You got it? I don't know if you heard. 2016? It's the year. It's the year. And as for my goals, 2016, short and sweet. Cash the World Series of Poker main events. Tie the world record. 5 consecutive cashes. Do what Greggy couldn't do and win the Sunday Million, which will lead to me having my first ever 6-figure score, and will also have me breaking the $1 million mark in tournament winnings. So, I want to cash the World Series of Poker main event, I want to win the Sunday Million, and I want to have my first career 6-figure score, which pushes me over the 7-figure mark in career earnings. I will achieve this by taking good care of myself and maintaining high energy levels. As to how I'm going to do that, well, follow my thread in the forum at team.gripst.com, where I will be telling you everything and I won't be holding anything back. For more info on all this, check out the links in the video description. I'll be updating them as each new piece gets released throughout the year, so this video is going to evolve. Now, that's kind of it for me. Now we got to talk a little bit about you, because Grips is about your success just as much so as it is about my success. So, comments. In honor of 2015 being my best year ever, go figure, I made the mantra it's my year and it ended up being my best year ever. I'd like to make this the best review video ever. And for that I'm going to need your help. So, please let me know in the comments below. What was your favorite Gripst moment of 2015? What was your biggest personal victory in 2015, poker or not? How being a part of Team Gripst helped you achieve that personal victory? And how you think we at Gripst Poker Training, what you think we could do to help you have an even bigger win in 2016. Now, by no means do you have to post all 4 of those things. You can post 1, you can post none. You're also welcome to post any questions, comments, and feedback. And I'll do my best to respond to all of them when I'm in the Bahamas, recharging for the most epic year of all time. If that's all too much for you, just please click the like button, give me that thumbs up. It actually makes me really happy when I check how my video is doing and I see hundreds and hundreds of thumbs up. So please click it and get your friends to click it and just let's have a good time. Now, one last thing. For those of you who want to guarantee success in 2016, I have a personal exercise for you. Get your journal or your piece of paper that you keep on your dream board or your document that you type in. Wherever it is, you know you have something that's going to be where your ideas are safe. Take some time, relax, reflect, get calm, get comfortable. And when you feel really chilled out and at peace, write down what your poker dream looks like. Somewhere safe, and the more detail, the better. Once you've done that, Write down what you think could get you one step closer to it. And then simple, reflect on your dream regularly. The more you can, the better. Right before bed and first thing in the morning are the best times to do so, but by no means should you feel like you need to do this every day. And then refine your next step as it feels right. Once you've taken care of that step, cross it off, write down the next one. We're going to do a lot more specific stuff with this in 2016. So your only piece of homework is not losing the piece of paper or the document where you put down your poker dream. Simple. As long as you hold on to it, we're going to do a lot of work with this to transform it from just something on a piece of paper to becoming something that you live every single day. Now, if you're sitting there asking, Gripst, why should I be posting the comments and write down my dream? Simple. Because contributing to the community with comments and feedback is what makes you part of the team. And it helps us improve and be able to give you more of what you need, because if you aren't vocal, we can't know what to give you, or I can't know. And writing down your dreams, it's how you create the future that you will soon be living in. I know this because back in 2011, when I discovered The Secret and the Law of Attraction, I started with the dream of winning the main event, the World Series of Poker, and having the best poker training site on the internet. Those were the two things that I dreamed about. And since then, let's see, I've had a piece of the world champion. It's pretty close to winning the main event. I've cashed the main event every year since I set that as my intention. I've been coached by the coaches who got first place, Joe McKeon's coach, Calvin Anderson, and second place at this year's main event, Mark Herm, was the coach for Josh Beckley. So I'm really in there with the coaches. I'm really kind of in there with all that is the World Series of Poker. And as for Gripst, well, I'll let you be the judge of where we rank in terms of teaching destination for poker players who want to transform themselves into world champions. Because, I've spent a lot of time on the training sites and the forums and, watching webinars and seminars and reading books and doing all that stuff. And I think we do a lot of stuff differently here at Gripst.com and at the forum and on the YouTube and on the Twitch. I think the offering is very unique, and I also feel that it is very complete. But I will let you guys, and I guess the awards people at the GPI, decide if we are the training site of the year, or if that's going to have to wait one more year. By the way, if you haven't yet, definitely come join our forum at team.gripst.com. The forum is located at team.gripst.com. It's where all the magic is going to be happening next year. It's where we're going to be transforming our ideas into realities, and it's where I'll be announcing new products, special events, my own learnings and discoverings, and yeah, like I said, it's where we're going to be tracking our personal victories, maybe even having some fun, friendly competition in and amongst the Gripsters to motivate ourselves to perform a little better and work a little harder. So guys, that wraps it up. That's it for my review. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end of this, watching this thing through. I know these things are long, but it's just because I have so much to share, and I'll try to keep the format a bit more efficient in smaller, bite-sized doses for the mind in 2016. But yeah, the dream is alive, very alive and real, and 2016 team, it's the year. 2016 is the year. So thank you again so much for being a part of this. I'm extremely grateful to have hardworking, driven, dedicated people like you on the team. Now, put that perfect vision down on paper, because you can't work with an idea. You can't work with something when it's just in your head. You have to put it into reality to be able to work with it. It's a very simple trick. And yeah, when you're done with that, when you've got your idea into a place, your dream into a place where you can really work with it, you know what to do. Take what you learned, go out there, and get stacking. 2016 team is the year that we are definitely going to make that happen.